All right, good evening. Tonight we are going to hopefully get this running where we will run it through the process and it will record the video at the same time. We also need to finish correctly implementing the part where um, it is not encountering, basically applying repel so that it does not encounter a lot of Pokemon while it's going through Mount Moon. This was a key area in our runs previously where it had not been able to make it through. We did use a different version that had actually successfully beaten the game. So it's definitely possible, given a long enough time frame, to get through everything that happens in the game. Ideally, what would happen here is I'm going to set it so that we're only running one at a time during this debugging phase. And then I'm going to try and run it with like maybe 2 to 4 agents, but with a longer window for it to go through all the steps it's going to take along the way. The idea being that as long as it's training regularly, hopefully we can get this to the point where it's going to go through the whole night successfully with the process and learn along the way. Because before it had made it to Mount Moon with about a 25%, or made it through Mount Moon with a 25% success rate. Most of the times what would happen is it would faint over and over again. So last time we were here, we worked on logic to have it apply repel when it's in certain areas of the map. Those areas in particular are here. It's basically just the Mount Moon areas. I want to see if it can make it through there and proceed through the game normally, and then we can come back and work on uh, finding ways for it to successfully get through here. So that way it needs like less of the hand holding through that. Uh, the idea here is that it's going to apply repel when it gets to this step here, but I've implemented incorrectly in the process because I'm lifting the code from the other successful version and bringing it over here. But it's a little bit different in terms of how it's getting that information. So if you come here, it's trying to run this step, and it's not being able to access the memory correctly. And so I need to go here in the process and find how they are accessing that and doing it. So that way we can be sure that we're doing this correctly. So if I look for, if I go here and I look for repel, this is the line that is creating the issues here. So we call Pyboy. We go self.pyboy. You can see it's done a number of times through here. We have it here. Now this is basically how it's setting off. It's going to load the state. Where does load state come from? That must be a function within Pyboy. But come back here. This is saying, where is it? Pyboy.pyboy. Well, maybe it's just that. Why is there 2 levels to Pyboy here? That is the issue. The other points when it calls self.pyboy, how does it do? That's the one we implemented, so I don't rust that by lifting it from the other one. This is to send memory. So for example, here, get memory value, and then it's looking at the address. And then every time here, it's reading in these specific memory values and getting the number back basically from what's being stored in the bits. And so when that happens, what does read M do? So that's where it goes to do the get memory value. Essentially, I should be able to then replace this. But that's only reading it in. That is not, right? Read M. Is there anything where I actually set the value? Only ever getting information. I'm never writing it back before in any part of this. So I think that's one of the key differences is this is always reading in from the memory in anything that we've implemented before. Now we're looking to actually set specific memory values while this is running. And that I think is part of what's going on and being the issue here. So let me turn off that background notification. Now I need to figure out how could I successfully do that, because this is going to read it in. Essentially, this is reading the memory value here from this particular lookup. And so if I pull that up over here, where is the repel? So this is going to symbol lookup over and over again. Is that there? And that gets the map data. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? Nothing related to symbol lookup is happening. Nope, not a thing. It wouldn't be in there, would it? data, moves, flags, items. This comes from EMU. This has to be something within Pyboy. Because it's saying it's coming from Pyboy. So then this implementation is just not correct. And I need to figure out how to address that correctly. Then here, anytime I try and get information, I've been telling it to go to a specific memory value and bring me that information. But now I need to work back from that. This will get the memory value. These are all gets. Get. Set up. I'm in the other repo trying to just get an idea what exactly it's doing. Now, instead of reading from memory, I need to set. So maybe this is something within Pyboy itself. Pyboy set memory value. Okay, so maybe this is just easier than I thought. It's saying there is, instead of just a get memory value, there's a set memory value. So Pokemon Red, sorry, memory, repel, remaining steps. Okay, that's not particularly helpful. Let's see if I can find anything here. I guess let's see if this just changes to what is that? So this could become set memory value. May not need those if this works correctly. This should become this. Here. So let's change that to there, and then I'll save this as well. What's broken here? This issue. Issue. So we should fix. Hold on a second. It says use 1DB logging. Yes, but where is that? I don't want this to log for now. It takes additional time on the startup and the spin down. I just want to be able to iterate more quickly. And hopefully we can get this to the point where it will run. And then we're going to go back. We're going to turn on the record video as well. This is only one right? Yeah, one instance. Maybe causing some instability in the stream while this is trying. There we go. Okay, so line 248. What? No second one there. Single one here, right? This one has two. One open, one shut. One open, one shut. This one here, right? The same. Open, one shut. Open this again. As soon as I run this, the computer starts choking. Trying to close out any unnecessary tabs here. Hopefully keep this stable. I'm not seeing anything at all. The two instances of Visual Studio causes problems too. All right, that at least gave me some memory back. Hopefully this is stabilized a little bit better. Yeah, it looks like we're back. Is this going any better? Can't tell. My screen is still showing that it's trying to run. I have no clue. All right, let me just try and send this in the chat. Just so I push skip repo, and it's going to take how long for this to actually go out? About a minute and a half. I'm going to close down anything that's not necessary. You're saying CPU is maxed out. And what? Question. Hold on. Yeah, problem. It was like I'm just trying to remove anything to hopefully get this a bit more stable. Or all the memory about, oh, I'm not closing. That's fine. At least back in taking up weeks before, and it's a couple hundred megabytes. Not great. At least it's hopefully now the stream is a bit more stable. I guess the downside of using older hardware is just that it's not not the best at handling everything. Let's kill this off. It took far too long, and I'm wondering, let's see, look at the memory now. Visual Studio is still doing a lot of it. I'm just going to close it, and hopefully hopefully things calm down a bit. Now, memory is in the 40% range. That shouldn't take this long, especially considering I'm only doing one agent. Before I'd been doing 24 and 16, and it didn't have this nearly this amount of time in terms of taking spin up and spin down. There we go. It's already further than last time. All right, so we at least got to the air. So it got past the set memory value, and now it's looking for a symbol lookup. So go through here. I think that's fine. What I need though, not what I was hoping for. Where's Visual Studio? What I was looking for. I need to open this. The step I was looking for. Supposed to send input here. Get tile. Should just be self Pyboy.memory. Okay. You get individual bytes from the memory and write in the value. where is Pyboy? And then symbol lookup. So because symbol lookup goes and refers to a specific, from provided symbols file. So if I understand this, the symbol lookup specified somewhere they give it these symbols. So I should look for something like player money in the files. They're all here. So I need to go back and look at the data that it's pulling from. So data folder here. The elevators, events, field moves, items, map bag. Where does it get these from? emu.memory. Trying to understand this. Nightmare. Okay. Hmm. So it goes to symbol lookup and it gets the bag items, but then when it came here, it's too deep. Again, Pyboy, Pyboy, Pyboy. It's got an extra layer. If I remove this Pyboy, does that fix the issue? Can I try that? I hope. I'm going to leave the player money there for now because I don't. No idea what's working. Okay, we're kicking off. Crash right away. Now it's pouring from the environment. Let's see. symbol look up in this list. Into their documents. But it's not making sense to me. Why doesn't this work correctly? The repel remaining steps. We need to look at the symbol, but it's coming back and saying that people doesn't know how to treat Pyboy. If I set self, it treats it as the environment. Maybe I should capital P. Okay. Yeah. Be ready. Yes, it did. Sorry, Zian. I just saw your message now. Yes. Okay. So while this attempts to run, I need to go Linux. While this attempts to run. So it took about, was it, I think, 3.5, 4 days of training for that instance. Yeah, I started on the 6th and ended on the 10th. But it was able to actually get through. That's not that one. That was me attempting to run it again in the evening. This one that ended at 3 a.m. It had started on the afternoon of the 6th and ran all the way through till about 3 a.m. on the 10th. I'm not entirely sure. I need to be able to pull in the save state to the Pyboy instance to try and like load and see which exactly it had gone through, but it had eventually made its way through the entirety of the game. There was a training before this where I had left it go for 5 days or 7 days, from Tuesday to like the following Tuesday, and it did not make it through. Uh, I got stuck at Saffron City because it. I'm gonna try and kill some of this stuff. All right, we're gonna kick this off again, and then I'll continue. So I'd let it go for multiple days, trying to. I really don't like that this keeps crashing it. Yeah, so it did. It took about from the 6th to the 10th, so about what was that, 4 whole days of training to get it to go through and beat the game one time. One of the things I do have to do is get the save state working properly, so that way it can load from that. Crashed here again. Like I said, I'll try it again. So it ran for about 4 days to go through and beat the game. It took about 138 million steps. 138 ahead. The first time it had missed out the Pokemon hideout. It had got knocked out partway through its exploration there, and then got sent back to the Pokemon Center, and it had kind of lost its way. It started to re-explore the map again, and eventually it uh, had more or less restarted its progress through. The second time, it was able to get all the way through not Silphco, the Rocket Hideout, and then that gave it the Silph Scope, so then it could do uh, the Pokemon Tower, which then gave it access to, and after that, it had beaten in a fairly quick. I say fairly quick. I think it was around the 75 million step mark, 70 or 80 million steps, and then it took like almost 40 million steps for it to find Vermilion City for that last gym because it had already explored that that before. And was like, the gym's not reverted to road because it's not that far away. After it had gotten to Victory Road, it figured that out pretty quickly, and from there it was like almost like a race to the end of the game. So it took less than 10 million steps for it to make it through like the final phases, which was kind of surprising. That like once it had figured out Giovanni, it kind of knew what to do. So kind of surprised. All in all, I really need to figure this out better. Maybe it's I'm too stuck on this. But yeah, so it did actually go through and beat it all. Like I said, it took about 138 million steps from beginning to end for it to do that. It had 24 agents running and took 4 days. That's just because I'm running on a laptop with only 8 gigs of RAM for the GPU. So it really kind of stumbled or really constrained area in terms of making progress through the game. So it does not like the way that I implemented this. What do I do when I get? I tell it, hey, read me the memory, and read m just uses pi.get memory value. And the address. So theoretically, I could say make a function called setm here, right? F setm self address return self dot Pyboy set set memory value and ADDR, right? Basically, everything is the same here, and then the issue is I don't know what this value is in terms of the lookup. But global map pulls it in, but it's not. Sorry. Where was that where I talked about money? Let's just fix this now because I think I have a good fix on this in terms of the memory address values. So right, so we called this the infinite money. if this is true, I can just take this out because this is looking it up, but it's unnecessary. I know the values here. This is D347. Be what? OX. Lowercase x. And OX D349. No, D47. Right, but I need to find provide me this. Right, and I'm just gonna code it. That takes care of the unit money. That a thing, and then I just make sure Y isn't the I did that. I'm really struggling with logic. Not being was already not honest, so I may need to restart my machine. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna bring this down, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to set it up so that way we can just watch the agent play on the stream. So that way um, we can at least have something displaying while this is running, and hopefully we can capture some information there. I'm gonna bring this down for a little bit, get that set up, and hopefully we'll have progress on that front where we'll at least be able to run through things, because this keeps doing it. So first, I'll restart my machine, and then I'll attempt to get this going. For those of you who see that later, sorry this wasn't as good as previous versions. Just trying to figure out how to actually get this to implement. It wasn't as easy as just lifting and shifting over. We're running into errors when we try and run the environment. So I'm going to bring a number of things down, restart the computer, and then restart the virtual environments and everything, and hopefully we can get it that way it's making progress, because right now my machine's pretty much capped out. And that's why every time I kick it off, it almost crashes out the computer. So I'm just going to restart everything and see if we can fix it up. It seems like Visual Studio here is being a particular pain, where it keeps trying to sync everything to Git, even though I don't want that to happen. And so, like I said, I'll bring this down for a little bit. I will try and get this up and running for the video, for the training, and see if we can get that displaying properly.